Before we begin, I would like to thank Futurlab and Curve Digital for sending me a copy of this game to review. Back in August, I got to play Velocity 2X on Switch, and I came away immensely satisfied with what I had experienced. It was one of my highlight games of Gamescom 2018, and now that it is out on the Switch, I have managed to play the whole game. But does having access to the full game change my opinion on it in any way? Let's just speed straight to the point. No, it does not. Velocity 2X is a sequel to the original Velocity, which is unfortunately not on Switch, but on PlayStation. So I went into this with no prior knowledge of the first game, but to be honest, I don't think it mattered that much. You play as Lieutenant Kaitana, who flies a ship known as the Quark Jet, and due to the events of the first game, I'm assuming, she has been in a coma and had many of her body parts replaced with cybernetics. Imprisoned by the Voke, an evil alien race who want to learn about her ship, she manages to escape her captors thanks to a slave named Ralan, and the two form a pact to save his race, get her back to Earth, and take out the Voke on the way. It's a simple story, no doubt about it. However, our two protagonists are both very likeable, and they clearly have good chemistry with each other, even if one is a pacifist and the other a war veteran. The story is nice for people who want context, but it isn't anything groundbreaking, and can even be done out of order, so it doesn't really feel like the focus. For those who do want more of that though, there are a lot of collectibles in the form of codex, which gives lore, character biologs and more. One of the big things I look for in my video games is flow. How does the game flow from one point to another? Is it smooth? Does it feel natural? Is it fun? This can vary from game to game, but it's most prominent in games that can be successfully speedrun. The 2D Sonic games are great examples of good flow, when you understand the game of course. Velocity 2X is like that. It is a game designed for speedrunners and really pushes for speed, and it is immensely enjoyable. There are two main gameplay styles in Velocity 2X, the SHMUP and the platforming styles. In both styles, players can move, speed up, warp a certain distance, and shoot straight ahead. In your ship, players can also drop bombs in any of the four cardinal directions, whereas on foot, speed can be sacrificed for free-range shooting. Players can also jump while on foot, of course. It wouldn't be a platform without that. It is impressive how natural the transition between the two styles works, and almost every stage will ask the player to try both, so players will have to get used to both styles. Personally, I prefer the on-foot sections, but both are fantastic to play through. The player has over 50 stages to work through, and each one is marked on 4 categories: speed, crystals, rescues and points. Speed is based on time taken to beat the stage. Crystals and rescues are the game's equivalent of Crash Bandicoot's boxes, with the crystals being the focus of the on-foot sections, and rescues for the ship. Lastly, points is based on factors like the number of deaths and enemies killed. It is important to get a high score, as this gets the player experience points, which is the only way to unlock the next level. This encourages skill over just pushing your way through, and I like that. There are also some side games like ice floor puzzles, but these are incredibly easy, so much so that they are a distraction more than anything else. But it is fine to have something easy to counter the intensity of the main gameplay, which is intense, and I really adored it. It's not nonsense hard, but it is challenging, and the player feels accomplished getting through it. I do wish the boss fights were a little bit better. All are done with the ship primarily, and are like Bowser boss fights. The same thing, but slightly harder next time. They got very samey and can't be blitzed through, and when you die, no progression is lost. So I just found myself being reckless because death didn't impact me during the fights. Overall, the gameplay is superb though. The main game is crazy fun, and the flow feels natural. It's perfect for those who enjoy speedrunning, and it just feels tight all around. Graphically, the game uses 2D art on CG cells to get across key story points, while relying on the character art a la Fire Emblem for simple interactions. There are a lot of story cells here, and they all look really nice. I also think the graphics of the game are quite pretty. There are a variety of environments, and while none of it looks 3D, none of it is sprite-based either. I particularly like the main character's model in the on-foot sections, as her hair stands out from most of the dark sci-fi areas. I only ever felt overwhelmed visually when I was moving at high speeds, and that isn't the game's fault, but due to my reaction time. The music is really appropriate here. It is high-paced and fits what type of level the player finds themselves in. Levels where the goal is to rush to the end have the appropriately fast-paced and energetic songs. while the more puzzle-focused levels have more relaxing music. It fits well, and there are a few outstanding tracks in my opinion. As I said in my intro, I enjoyed this game just as much now as I did playing the demo at Gamescom, and so it did not disappoint. This is a must-have for any shmup and speedrunning fan. It's not perfect, the boss fights are average, and some of the extra content just doesn't feel very rewarding, but the main game does. It was crazy fun, and I will be trying to get a gold on every stage soon enough. If you have a Switch and enjoy high-action, fast-paced games, then Velocity 2X is for you. Before I go, I want to thank Futurlab and Curve Digital for sending us a copy of this game to review. I hope it does them well. With that guys, let me know what you thought of this video and if you're now interested in picking up this game or not in the comments below. I want to thank all of our patrons, in particular our super patron, the Duke of Dorks, and give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already so that you can always return to the source.